Alright, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I'm excited to go over a well-known classic in men's underwear. Right here we have the Fruit of the Loom men's white briefs. In particular, this is a 10-pack value bundle, which is a pretty strong deal for this brand. The plan for this review is to just be straightforward. We're going to go over the packaging here and the information that you can see on it. Then we'll open up this pack and take a close look at one individual brief, including the construction of it and the fabric detail. And then finally we'll have a try-on session to show what a pair looks like that's already been washed. Beginning with the front, as you can see, we've got the Fruit of the Loom logo displayed prominently on the front. It's clearly indicating right here that it comes with 10 briefs, so there's no confusion about the quantity. Other packs might specify different amounts, so just be sure you check out how much certain packs that you buy might have. The front also highlights some key features, including the ever soft, breathable fabric, and it has a full cut fit, which means that these briefs just provide more of a complete coverage and support through the seat, the back end, and the legs. And there's also a small transparent pouch at the bottom over here that just allows you to feel the softness of the cotton before purchasing, which is a nice practical detail. And then we'll turn to the back of the package where we can just see a few other points that are emphasized for this pack of briefs. Starting out from the very top, just a little minor thing about it having this eco packaging, indicating that the plastic was partially recycled, or from partially recycled materials. And now let's get more to the details of the brief. Next, it's reiterating at the bottom that it's a tag-free waistband, indicating that the, there's not going to be this paper tag on the waistband in the back, and that eliminates irritation and basically makes it more comfortable when you wear it throughout the day, which is pretty important when you're wearing a piece of underwear like this for most of the day. It's not scratching you from the back. Also says that Fruit of the Loom, they stay put, meaning that the waistband's not going to pinch or move around during wear. It's going to stay in a comfortable position. And also it mentions having moisture wicking properties, basically just meaning that it's going to draw moisture away from your skin and not trap it next to your skin with the fabric. And the leg bands, as it describes in the back, are going to be comfortable. It says that they're designed to stay in place, which means you're going to have a more secure fit. Also in the purple over here, you're going to see the sizing chart that's clearly printed so that you can match your waist measurement to the correct size. Personally, I'm more of a fan of the numerical waistband sizes, but more of the waist sizes that we see nowadays are going towards the small, medium, and large. But either way, if you look closely at your waist size by inches, you can get a more comfortable and durable fit. So make sure you check that chart. And then the next thing at the bottom is going to be the best fit guarantee, which basically states that Fruit of the Loom is going to strive to have a more precise fit for each buyer. So it says that, if you're not satisfied with your purchase, as long as you keep the receipt, you can request an exchange and then maybe get a refund through their customer service website, or you can dial the phone number on the back of this pack. And that just shows some reassurance when you purchase this underwear that you might, get something that fits you more properly. And that can be also reassuring if you're maybe buying some underwear in bulk, or if you're trying a new size, perhaps. Personally, I like the Fruit of the Loom briefs just because they're very practical when it comes to daily comfort, as well as the great value that they offer. You get a really good, substantial number of briefs with each package, which helps with keeping your drawer fully stocked without any frequent repurchases. Other brands, like the more premium lines, they do exist. Fruit of the Loom is more of one of those standard purchases alongside Hanes, but they do have their strengths. To me, they're very dependable as far as like basic choices in underwear, and they come at a really reasonable cost for the most part, especially compared to other underwear out there. So I'd also consider Hanes in the same category, but I tend to favor Fruit of the Loom more between the two. But it's nice to have competitive options if you have your own preferences between both of those briefs. So that covers the overview of this pack, and let's go ahead and open one up and look at what we got. All right, now that we got the package description over with, let's go ahead and open up this pack of briefs and look at one individual pair. Normally you can open it up from the front. Sometimes I've done that in the past, but there's actually a bit of an opening from the bottom of this pack. You can fit my hand in from the bottom. So I'm just gonna slip my hand in here and open it up from this end. And just bear with me, folks. They're very tightly packed into the plastic. They do a good job on that, which is pretty impressive because just in one pack, as I mentioned, we got 10 briefs altogether. Sometimes they use tape right here just to keep them all neatly folded together, so we would have to remove a bit of that. I'm going to put this set of 5 to the side, and let's undo this bundle of briefs so that we can look at one individual pair. And again, bear with me. The tape can be a bit of a hassle. I can see at least 2 pieces on this bundle right here. When you take the tape off, it shouldn't really leave any marks. If it does and it leaves some kind of imperfection, which has happened to me for other brands in the past, I often will just return it and get a better pair. Because if that sticky stuff doesn't come off during washings, that's going to be a pain because you got a bit of an imperfect product. Okay, so I've gotten that tape off. As I mentioned, they tightly pack all 10 of these briefs into that plastic pretty well. So this is just 4. And I'll look at the individual briefs specifically, but I just want to comment on the cotton. To me, the cotton is very soft, which is pretty in line with that Eversoft fabric thing printed on the front. To me, Fruit of the Loom does a really good job of having a thicker fabric that is soft, as I mentioned before, but also just very comfortable on the skin. Hanes is pretty comfortable as well, and it's soft too. But when you compare Fruit of the Loom and Hanes, I often find that the fabric for Fruit of the Loom's briefs are just a little bit thicker. I don't know if Hanes has done that by design or if there's some intention behind it. I don't know if it's a cost-cutting measure, but personally, I just enjoy a thicker fabric on my briefs. I feel like it just feels like a more quality fit, and it just feels more snug and comfortable as I wear it throughout the day. So as you open the brief, you'll feel that soft fabric. That way you know you got a really good product on your hands. And let's go ahead and check out this one pair that I put aside. So as we note this point, this is the classic. See if we can get a good shot of it. And I might move my camera just a little bit to maybe get a better vantage point. So as you can see, this is the classic men's white briefs that Fruit of the Loom is known for. Fabric, very soft. Really like how it feels. And as we saw on the front of the package, this is a full cut. So it's just going to be more of a complete coverage and a more traditional silhouette compared to other briefs out there. I don't personally mind the mid-rise and low-rise briefs, but I feel like the full-rise cuts of these briefs are often a bit more reliable at times. You kind of just know that it's going to fit a bit more consistently. And for Fruit of the Loom, which is a pretty standard brand, it's been consistent as far as the fit. So, but also keep in mind that Hanes has their own kind of unique fit to their briefs as well, even though the sizes are a bit in parallel with each other. And now let's go over to the waistband. So this waistband is going to feature the Fruit of the Loom logo on the front, just for branding. The waistband has a very firm, elastic feel, and it still is pretty flexible. On the inside, as you can see, there's no paper tag on the waistband from the back, which is really great. which prevents a lot of irritation or itching. The label is printed on, has a bit of the sizing there as well as some washing instructions. So if that's helpful for y'all, just make sure you check that out as well on the back. There should be washing instructions on the package too. And let's see. Now we'll go to the front of these briefs just to look at the stitching along the pouch area. As you can see with these briefs, the stitching is very good as far as the quality. You got these stitches around the band. The pouch area, as I mentioned, with the fabric as well, it's very comfortable on the skin. The seams are also pretty flat and consistent, so that prevents any unnecessary friction with your clothes. I can feel that these have really good quality to them as well. Also, with briefs, you have these leg openings, of course. Some brands out there, when it comes to briefs, are a little bit inconsistent, I think, when it comes to the leg band. Sometimes the elastic isn't quite right, but in my opinion, Fruit of the Loom has done a really good job with having consistent leg bands. So they're just very comfortable overall. All right. And let's see. So overall, this is the front. Sorry, I can't get that camera to angle just a little bit better. And now we'll go to the back. All right. As you can see, just the waistband, where the waistband stitching ends. Doesn't cause any problems. As I mentioned before, the full cut approach prioritizes stability and support. And it's just going to cover the back a little bit more thoroughly. But after washing, it'll shrink a bit. Again, I like the full cut because it's a bit more full feeling, whereas other people might not appreciate mid-rise or low-rise briefs having, you know, it might feel a bit more skimpy to some people. So I prefer wearing a underwear that's a bit more complete. All right. So that's our initial look at this one pair of briefs from the package. As I mentioned before, it's very consistent with what's advertised on the package. There's very soft cotton fabric. It's a very supportive construction, in my opinion. It's also very comfortable as far as the waistband's concerned. No itchy tag. Label's just basically printed on the back. And it has that very classic full cut fit and design. So now that we have gone over this individual pair, let's do a quick try on. I'll have a wash pair just because they shrink just a little bit in the wash and dryer, in my opinion. Hanes is different because they have a bit more of a pre-washed pair of brief, but for the Loom, in my opinion, I noticed a bit more shrinkage after the wash, which is fine for me. Overall, the fit still comes out good. So let's move on to the try-on portion using a wash pair. And then I'll talk a little bit about the fit. All right. Alright, so this is the try-on segment for the Fruit of the Loom men's white briefs. What you see here is an already washed and dried pair, just to give a better idea of the fit and feel of these briefs after typical laundering. There might be a small amount of shrinkage, which is normal for cotton, but in my experience, it doesn't affect the comfort or the fit at all. Starting from the front, the waistband sits comfortably at a natural height. It's not going to dig or shift around during wear, and the elastic still feels strong after the wash, so it stays in place throughout the day. The front panel provides steady support as well, and maintains its shape, whether standing still or moving around. Turning to the sides, the fit continues to remain smooth and clean. There's not any significant bunching or pulling, which helps the brief continue to feel secure during regular movement. And now going to the back, as expected with a full rise brief, the coverage is complete and stable. Also notice the leg bands remain right where they should be. There's no significant riding up or rolling of these leg bands when you move around, and that also adds to the comfort of these briefs. Overall, these briefs perform very well during everyday activity. The cotton still feels soft and breathable after washing, which is very important for all-day comfort. So, in summary, this has been my try-on review for the Fruit of the Loom men's white briefs. These are a reliable staple in my underwear drawer. The fit is supportive, the look is classic, and the comfort holds wash after wash. So thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next review.